Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've had some more information and footage on an 890 Jump FPS mission that actually has FPS AI combat elements, and it's going to be in Alpha 3.8, which is very exciting. I also wanted to talk about some other missions that may come in 3.8 and beyond that as well, improvements and updates they made with AI and how they're going to be getting added to new points of interest and old points of interest as well, and for new missions in general. The mission feature team have been working on a hijacked 890 Jump mission for the persistent universe for Alpha 3.8. The mission is intended to be shareable and is in fact scaled for sort of like a team of 4-5 players, though it is possible to complete solo. It might be pretty difficult. The mission is a work in progress, but it's to rescue an 890 Jump, prevent a hack that's happening there by the pirates that are there, and there's a reward shown for this mission currently of 10k Alpha UBC plus bonuses. After taking the mission in the sort of like demo, the player had to fly to a distress signal, take out some pirate ships before approaching the 890 Jump and EVAing out into its landing bay, where there were pirates already there waiting to meet him. The example player here clearly has God mode on as well, if you're wondering what's going on in the background, with him being taking infinite damage, it seems. The mission had a timer as well. Basically, the player had to clear out both the pirates, but more importantly, stop the hack that was going on within the time limit. So stop the hack within that time limit. I think then that would complete that sub-objective, and then you'd be able to clear out the pirates in your own time. But by interacting with the terminal that appears somewhere on the ship, you'll be able to stop that hack. In the demo here, it was at the cargo bay, the rear cargo bay of the ship, but it can be in different areas, as I've said. You have to clear out all the pirates after that, or during that, to complete the mission. In the example, I think there were 17 on board. There are potentially NPCs that you could save as well that appear to give you bonus rewards. That is very exciting for me as well. The potential for, are they going to be combat NPCs that help you, or are they just going to be a bit derpy, or is it just interacting with doors and things, and you'll get audio logs or something from crew? This is the first mission that will have FPS AI fighting inside ships. The size of the 890 Jump allows for this more fully fleshed out mission, but they should be expanding to other ones afterwards. There are more missions in 3.8 besides as well that they are currently working on, or at least they're working on for 3.8 and beyond. Some are Star Citizen focused potential gameplay things that they want to show off too. We've seen some info on some other missions here. The sort of like attacking a counterfeit station mission and clearing out guards to receive some Alpha UBC. There's some pirate missions. There's a new mission that has both a mission and counter mission in the Kovalex Gundo hub to plant and counter mission to defuse explosives there. There are missions to repair panels on stations as well as refill vending machines. I am very much looking forward to all of that gameplay. Beyond that as well, there are prisons and associated gameplay coming with them. With 3.9 and going onwards from that, more and more sort of points of interest being added there, more mission givers, more gameplay area. But having AI that can move around the physics grids on ships and actually be part of missions is an incredibly important step towards a huge amount more gameplay in Star Citizen's persistent universe. It will hugely evolve what missions we have currently available and their difficulty and their rewards and just sort of their enjoyment. If you're assaulting outposts, assaulting a load of these points of interest, having a load of different derelict ships or scrap sites that could have pirates there EVAing potentially. And there's lots of AI bits and pieces that they are working on for 3.8 and beyond. They spent some time iterating on NPC aiming, simplifying control of the lower body turning for characters while aiming at a target, and improving the way aim tracking works. This makes it easy to determine when the movement should blend slowly or snap quickly when they're sort of aiming at targets. They also fixed some synchronization issues that AI, NPCs, and general sort of characters and animations had. They improved FPS AI cover selection during combat by introducing new ways to weight cover locations based on target direction. NPCs can now choose between predefined fire modes or actively selecting auto burst or single shot modes. They added more world lines and flavor to the behaviors as well, such as NPCs taunting a target before starting investigating around an area and having a look to see if they can find the cause of a sound or disturbance. They've been further defining the systemic behaviors needed for AI to realistically traverse environments depending on their loadouts as well. More importantly, for the future, they have nav mesh support on planetary locations and are moving towards a more dynamic creation of navigation data on planet surfaces. This will allow for FPS combat NPCs at outposts, in caves, and at various other locations. In fact, caves in 3.7 are considered a great proof of concept for the procedural tool that was used to create them, as well as the assets and the way that the caves in general were created. They're going to be adding more and more and more and more assets and bits to these caves, different types of entrances, that sort of stuff. Lots of different ways to traverse them, and they're going to be tying more and more content to this, some of which we may actually see in 3.8. We will also see more missions tied to general gameplay with AI and expanding gameplay area and FPS AI being able to move around. I suspect they may map each of the ships for individual sort of missions for AI as well, so expect to see more missions and more shipboarding in the future too. I think what excites me most about this is the friendly NPCs that are planned to be part of missions, or mission givers and non-hostile NPCs outside of landing zones, so ones that you will meet in caves, ones that you will meet on like the 890 jump raids. There is also close combat and stealth takedowns and melee in 3.8 as well. This could potentially influence missions as well, giving you additional ways of completing them. Maybe taking people down stealthily will actually work in 3.8. That is what I am hoping, but they've been adding new animations and gameplay for this sort of stuff for the last few weeks. Adding camera shake on successful hits, blocking with melee weapons, damage and stamina impact of getting hit, and they've been updating loads of animation stuff as well. Ship AI moved the first pass of their new 3D pathfinding functionality stuff into the main game dev branch. This uses signed distance fields to incrementally compute a path in a 3D environment, so basically locational information and distance information is saved by the ship or by parameters on the ship or by the location, in fact, and they can work out how to path with that. A new way for designers to request a ship follows a spline, a tunnel that guides a ship's movement rather than using a fully sort of like prescribed, predefined path was exposed. So at runtime, the calculation automatically adjusts the tunnel size and sort of major sort of path route based on the environment and information reported by the signed distance field. They also added new nodes to monitor target distance and vehicles' relative states and make decisions accordingly based on those values by the AI. So they will more appropriately engage and disengage and move around the terrain and work out what's a threat more than something else. More generally, they've been working on ship AI systemic behaviors, with the takeoff and landing systems receiving polish to get them closer to their final states. This will see ships around planets and landing zones with more of a purpose and actually interacting with the landing zones when it comes to NPCs and AI. Anyway, social AI optimized the usable search function that they are now able to cache the location of usable objects on the nav mesh. This means they don't have to consistently recalculate the time an object is static in one location. Implementation of generic vendors continued as well. This is going to be used to allow bartenders to offer patrons lots of different drinks and appropriately get all the parts for them and create them in front of them. They're progressing on the patrol functionality that defines paths for AI to follow as well. This path will carry information on which types of logic to activate while hitting different path nodes. But basically, there's a huge amount of AI work going on with behaviors and adding them into locations and navigation paths, all that sort of stuff, so we can actually have better AI in the game. And obviously that's incredibly important, not just for the missions, but for every part. I mean, the missions, the AI, they're all super core mechanics, and they need to be able to move around the game and be able to participate in all the activities that a player could. I hope that was informative and interesting to discuss. The info was from various sources, more recently from Inside Star Citizen, where they looked much more in depth about that 890 jump mission, and the Star Citizen monthly reports, as well as some data mined info from 3.7.1. I'd love to know what you think though. Are we going to be seeing a lot more NPCs as part of missions on the ground? so FPS AI, I suppose, in 3.8. Are we just going to have the 890 jump as a viable FPS mission in 3.8 as well, or do you think it will propagate over to other ships in 3.8 too? Do you think AI will be smarter with improvements coming over the next few quarters, or do you think it's going to be a struggle for CIG to get something smart and complex in the persistent universe within the next few quarters, and it will drag on for a bit longer? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For November, it's for a Cutlass Black game package and CitizenCon 2948, last year's goodie pack. All you need to do for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during November 2019. More details below. A quick bit of shilling as well. Shadow provide remote access to high-spec gaming PCs as a subscription service, so you don't need to maintain your own gaming PC. You can leverage the power of your internet to turn your phone, tablet, laptop, or home PC into a monster. They are taking pre-orders for their new hardware configurations, scaling for 4K gaming, up to 32 gigs of RAM, and a GeForce Titan RTX, which I am very much looking forward to playing Star Citizen on. Links below, and use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. I also use NordVPN, which I've decided to continue to support, as they appear to have one of the best VPN services currently available at an affordable price. If you're looking for a VPN, consider them. Links below. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you would like to share my video, comment, subscribe, like, all that sort of jazz, ring the bell. That all helps content creators. Also, if you want to further support the channel even more, there's Patreon, there's direct donation, there's the YouTube join button as well, which gives you access to some more sort of like exclusive content from me. Thank you very much for watching. You take care, and I'll see you in the verse.